Paper Mario, the series that makes us all go, just go back to the freaking RPG format! Ah! And the Mario and Luigi franchise, the series that makes us go, but which of these series truly reigns supreme? Which series is truly the pinnacle of Mario turn-based battle spin-offs? Today, we are putting these two beloved series into a series war to see which series will end up on top. We'll be putting these series into 7 different categories, and the series that claims the most victories will be the winner of this series war. With that said, let's get into it. Round 1, Battles. What's an RPG without a battle system? Short answer, nothing. So let's start off with Mario and Luigi, cause God, I am scared to talk about this monstrosity. The Mario and Luigi series has always been consistent with its battles between every single entry. You use A to control Mario and B to control Luigi. You are given 3 different attacking options, and you can also flee or use items. Pretty standard stuff here. But where the fights truly become interesting is with the bros attacks and dodging. The bros attacks vary between entries and require multitasking between controlling Mario and Luigi. Despite there being around 7 or so for each bro per game, most of these attacks feel completely unique and are a blast to use most of the time. And the dodging portion of the fights is what truly helps it stick out compared to Paper Mario. Once each bro has attacked, the enemies will begin to attack, and during this, you can control Mario and Luigi to either try to avoid the attack or damage the enemies back, which not only reduces moments where you aren't doing anything, but it adds another unique layer of strategy to the fights as well. Overall, the Mario and Luigi series has a consistent and fantastic battle system that'll always keep you on your toes and make you strategize about what the best option for your next move truly is. Now, let's compare this to its opponent, Paper Mario. Now, most of the things I said for Mario and Luigi's battle system apply here. Different attacking options, fleeing, items, yada yada yada. But where things are different is that there's no bros attacks this time, and no dodging this time either. Which honestly just makes this series a lot more standard than its first 2 entries compared to the Mario and Luigi series. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but there's a lot more moments in the first 2 Paper Mario games where you really won't be doing anything. And overall, the special badges for attacks are a lot less varied in control styles compared to the Mario and Luigi Bros attacks. However, this is only half the story. This only applies to the first 2 entries. After those, the series went kinda wild to say the least. And bad. In all seriousness, the battles became less of a focus over time and only downgraded in quality over the years. Less strategy, less interactivity, and overall, less fun simply due to the fact that forced gimmicks were forced into these battles to try and make them unique, which only harmed the battles more than they should have because none of these gameplay styles were really thought through to the end. With that said, Mario and Luigi easily takes the victory for the battle system, as it not only has more strategy and interactivity most of the time, but it has a consistent style throughout its series, and the gameplay gimmicks are not only add more fun, but add more uniqueness without ruining what made the system so great in the first place. And for that, the Mario and Luigi series easily takes this round. Round 2, Overworld Exploration. Weirdly enough, this topic is kind of like the opposite of what I talked about for the battles. Paper Mario over time has focused way more on the overworld and adventure aspect of the gameplay, while Mario and Luigi has had less of a focus on it over its lifespan. However, we can't declare Paper Mario the winner of this point solely because of that alone. So let's discuss the overworld exploration. Mario and Luigi Overworld Exploration focuses heavily on different abilities that you learn throughout the game and lots of puzzle solving, while also collecting coins, badges, and beans! Oh, the frickin' beans! Most areas between entries feel mostly very similar to ones in past entries, with a few exceptions here and there. Most areas are typically fun to explore with a lot of puzzles and secrets throughout its world. Every area is brimming with characters to talk to, places to visit and explore, and lots of collectibles that will keep you searching for a long time. And sometimes there's even fun little side quests in the later entries if you're into that sort of thing. The overworld exploration in the Mario and Luigi games is genuinely fantastic, while lots of characters, collectibles, locales, and tons of overworld abilities for you to use and puzzles to solve. Now, let's see how the man who came from my printer can compare. Paper Mario Overworld exploration is damn near identical to the Mario and Luigi series exploration that I literally can't even joke about this, except for the fact that I can. The only real difference here is that the locales between each entry are vastly different. Between Roadport, Yoshi Village, Shroom City, there's such a huge variety in colors and design in these locales that the Mario and Luigi series really lacks. However, since there aren't as many unique overworld abilities as the Mario and Luigi series, a lot of puzzles end up feeling very similar, and some of the areas aren't quite as fun to move around compared to the Mario and Luigi series because of the lack of overall versatility abilities. So, who do I give the point to here? The Mario and Luigi series has a lot of variety and ways to traverse its locales in Overworld, but it lacks standout locations and design differences between each entry. While the Paper Mario succeeds in the varying locations, but it falls flat in ways to traverse its overworld and landscapes. In the end, I have to give the point to Mario and Luigi. This was an incredibly tough call to make, but I simply believe that having more ways to traverse the worlds both of these games provide is more important than having every location stand out. Not to mention that there are a lot more variety of puzzles in the Mario and Luigi series compared to the Paper Mario. Either side could be argued to take this category, but in my opinion, the Mario and Luigi series only barely edges out Paper Mario and takes this category. Round 3, Characters. Both of these series have some great and underappreciated characters, but as it went on, both series started to lose a ton of unique characters that they once had, and were slowly replaced with Toads, Bowser, and this mistake. So for this entry, I'll solely be looking at the original characters here, and none that exist in the standard Mario universe. So with that cleared up, let's go! The Mario and Luigi series is certainly no slouch when it comes to weird and wacky characters. You got interesting villains like Fawful and Tasma and Elder Princess Shroob, to fun comedic characters like Prince Preasley, Starlo, the Z-Egg, and the Elite Trio. There is certainly no lack of original and unique characters with this series. The villains are each given a simple but understandable goal with fun personalities that we get to see throughout the game. Like the dude who won't stop talking about his chortles, whatever the hell that means, and Elder Princess Droop talking like Q*bert language from Wreck-It Ralph. Each villain truly shines in their simple goals, standout presence, and hilarious moments. And the same applies for the side characters as well. While not given in-depth backstories or anything, the side characters aren't really given much of a presence, but when they do, they are almost always a joy to watch. From their lines to reactions, every single character always has a moment to shine when they appear, and offers some of the strongest laughs in the entire series. While this series may lack in character backstory and complexity, this series excels at bringing a ton of unique characters and funny characters as well to the Mario universe with fun quirks and gimmicks that help them stand out. Paper Mario characters are, surprise, surprise, very similar to the Mario and Luigi characters. My mind is blown. However, there is one key difference here that makes the Paper Mario characters stick out compared to the Mario and Luigi characters. Interesting and complex backstories. Every character you meet, whether it's a villain, a partner, Huey, nearly every character is not only given a fun, standout quirk like the Mario and Luigi characters, not only is every character given a time to shine and a presence on screen, but they are also given interesting backstories to help these characters truly feel like real characters rather than just a joke machine. For characters like Count Bleck and Admiral Bobbery, who have very depressing backstories that shape them into the way they are now, to characters like Bobby, who just want to recover from amnesia, to even the simplest of characters like Goombario, who just wants to help you out on your quest due to being a Mario fanboy. Almost every character is given a backstory that correlates perfectly with their character and design, and because of this, it just helps these characters not really feel like characters, but real people instead. With that said, the winner of this category goes to the Paper Mario series, simply due to all the backstories given to its characters, which the Mario and Luigi series really doesn't do much of at all aside from Fawful. These backstories in the Paper Mario series simply help us feel for the characters in its world more than the Mario and Luigi series could ever try to do, which is why the Paper Mario series wins this round. Round 4, Story. Now, this section is kinda interesting. Both of these series have really in-depth stories. Sometimes, I gotta specify the sometimes. And other times, they just have really basic stories like Sticker Star, Color Splash, and Paper Jam. So like with the characters, I'm only gonna be focusing on the unique stories of each series. So let's get into it. For the Mario and Luigi series, the plot always involves Peach getting kidnapped. No freaking way! But the catch is, throughout the game, the story dives much deeper and complex than just the average Peach gets kidnapped plot. The major issue is, not only is every single game in the series like this, but all the detailed plot does is just boil down to, oh, this villain has ulterior motives, they're just kidnapping Peach! And it almost always results in the villain just wanting world domination and nothing else. This format of the story gets the job done, sure, but it being in every game just makes it stale and boring after a while. There are some twists and turns here or there, but none of the games really have any twist dramatic enough to leave any of an impact or give any of the villains any other goal aside from world domination every time, which really just leaves a lot to be desired. Like I said, these are simple stories that get the job done, but they're somewhat just bland and boring after them all being done to death. Like everything else, the Paper Mario series is exactly... Wait, that's not right. Oh my god, the Paper Mario series, it's different in terms of storytelling. Oh my god! The Paper Mario stories kinda follow in the same footsteps, but typically do things differently. Peach usually gets kidnapped and most villains usually want world domination, sure, but when that is the case, the villains are given motivations for doing so, which helps keep the story in each game fresh. For example, even though both the Shadow Queen and King Ollie both want to conquer the world, the Shadow Queen wants to solely because she's a villain made of pure evil who's been sealed away for thousands and thousands of years, while King Ollie simply wants to conquer the world to get revenge on all Toads due to him being mistreated by them in the past. Even though both have the same goal in mind, it's their motivations for doing so that keep them feeling unique, despite them really not being unique at all from each other, which is certainly a difficult thing to achieve, but the Paper Mario series does this incredibly well. With both of these series covered in the story aspect, I am giving this point to the Paper Mario series. Not only because of the villains having other motivations that cause them to do what they do, while the Mario and Luigi villains don't have this, but because the Paper Mario series is also another Super Paper Mario plot, and because of that, I don't need to convince you any further. Round 5. Music. Both of these series have absolutely slapping and bopping tunes that I listen to at least 75,556,064 times a day. The Mario and Luigi series not only has
throbbing banger,
but also has music that fits every area, battle, and event happening in the game. The battles are filled with fast-paced and energy-inducing beats and sounds, while the towns have a nice, relaxing, and slow tempo. The only issue with this series' music is that some of the music between entries can sound too similar. Almost every entry has the same music style as the rest of the series, which can lead to some entries feeling way too similar to others music-wise. But that is truly the only complaint I have with the series' music. But the fact that all the battles and towns between them have the same exact pattern does hold the soundtrack back a bit. But this series is still an absolutely fantastic one in terms of its soundtrack. For the Paper Mario series, my god. Oh my god! How in the world can a soundtrack featuring a plumber made of freaking paper be this good? Every soundtrack absolutely slaps to the highest degree of slap. And despite every entry having battles, none of the fight themes sound similar at all. Each battle theme feels distinct, and same for the location music between entries. Rarely in this series will two songs ever feel similar or alike, and that's something truly special and magical that this series manages to achieve. Both series are undoubtedly amazing in terms of their music, but in my opinion, Paper Mario edges out the Mario and Luigi series in this category. Not only are the highs slightly higher, and not only does each song between entries sound always distinct, but the Paper Mario series doesn't have this. So for that, the Paper Mario series folds this point. Round 6, Track Record. For this category, I don't think it's fair to judge based on my own opinion, cause if I did, TTYD wouldn't win this category alone for me. So instead, I'm gonna do some research up on the average ratings for each entry in both of these series, and calculate which of these series has the most consistent track record. Here is what I found. these results, I have calculated that the Mario and Luigi series takes this category. Between both its first 3 entries, it was incredibly close between the series. But when Sticker Star happened, the series took a huge blow in ratings, with none of the other entries coming close to topping the rest of the Mario and Luigi series. To make it easier to understand, every entry in the Mario and Luigi series is above a 90%, while only 2/3 of the Paper Mario series is above a 90%. So with that, the Mario and Luigi series takes this category. Round 7. Impact. Both of these series undoubtedly gathered a huge following by RPG and Mario fans alike. But neither of these series have really had much of an impact on the standard Mario franchise like the Yoshi or Donkey Kong series did when I made that series war video, which you can totally check out, by the way. I would really appreciate it. So how am I going to judge the winner of this category? Well, I'm going to do that based off of not only sales, but which series also had the most impact on its own series. So let's start off with the sales portion of this topic. In terms of sales, the Paper Mario series absolutely takes an edge here, even if we remove the likes of Origami King. This series has simply sold way more and has received way more recognition from not only fans, but Nintendo as well. Now, in terms of impact on their own series, both unfortunately has some negative things happen in the series. Both started off having incredibly great impact due to having a great start, and both only formed more and more sequels that only raised the quality by most people. But both ended up falling into a depressing state the more and more they kept attempting things. As we know, after Paper Jam, Alpha Dream ended up remaking Superstar Saga and Bowser's Inside Story for the 3DS in order to make some money to create more games. However, those remakes sold horribly, and that was not only what killed the series, but what also killed the Alpha Dream company as a whole, sadly. This series truly went from a tremendous rise to an absolutely devastating and heartbreaking fall. And now, the series may be gone forever and may never be seen on future hardware again, which is honestly just really depressing and upsetting. The Paper Mario series has also fell from grace, as many fans would say, but the series is still selling pretty well, and over time the series has slowly been getting over to fans' good side, despite not necessarily being what everyone wants them to be. There's still some people who aren't fans of the newer games, but the fact that the series isn't in danger of dying anytime soon, and that some fans are slowly beginning to open up to the newer entries despite a bit of a stumble, the Paper Mario series is still going strong despite the series not exactly having a good impact on itself. So for this category, the winner of this category and the series war is the Paper Mario series. Paper Mario wins this point by not only dominating its competitor in sales, but by also being able to recover from a stumble that the Mario and Luigi series sadly couldn't recover from, making Paper Mario win this series war 4-3. So what's the takeaway from this? I don't know. In my eyes, the Mario and Luigi series excels the most with its incredibly fun gameplay, while the Paper Mario series excels most at other aspects like music and characters. Some may argue that gameplay is the most important thing in the series and game, and honestly, that's completely justified and fair. But in my eyes, there is so much more that goes into a series than just the gameplay, which is why, in my opinion, the Paper Mario series is the winner of this series war. Now, if you disagree with the outcome, that's completely okay. And despite this list trying to be objective, subjective thoughts are definitely inevitable for any type of video on the internet. So the winner could easily change based on your stance of any of these categories. So if you disagree with the winner of this series war or any of these categories, that's completely okay and fair of you to do so. And don't let my words in this video change your thoughts and opinions. With that said, I do believe the Paper Mario series takes its victory in this battle between turn-based Mario franchises. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as it took an incredibly long time to make, but I enjoyed it the whole way through. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Later, gamers.